Hey, what's up guys? So just been doing some work on the Warrior Wild truck from wltoys here. If you saw my last video on this, you know I broke an outdrive cup. And my light bar wasn't working properly. And I've done a couple other things. Let's just start off with the light bar. So I did test that out on a different power source and it worked fine. I just tested it out on this and the light bar worked fine. For 10 minutes the light didn't go off at all. So I guess the light bar just doesn't like being in the bind spot on this Spectrum receiver. Just doesn't seem to work properly. So I'll probably look at getting a 6-channel radio in the future. That should give me a couple more spots and then I can have my lights controlled from the radio too instead of having to push the button on the back. So I just won't have them for now, but in the future, new radio, that should fix the light problem. So one of the next things is the suspension I wanted to fix up a bit. So I did get new shocks. I've already got the front shocks installed, as you can see. They're definitely a little stiffer and have more adjustments, so they're already pretty much where I want them. They handle the weight a lot better now. If you can remember before, when I would compress the front with the body on, it would just stick down and wouldn't even pop up. That's not happening anymore. I also replaced the stock rear shocks. These new ones are slightly longer. You can see here. They also have a progressive spring on them. But because they are slightly longer, I didn't really want my back end to be coming down lower. So I did make a couple of leashes that when the body is on, they help just limit the rear movement there. I also kind of just like how leashes look on these things. So yeah, got some leashes there to limit the travel a bit. Probably only actually limiting the travel by maybe 1 millimeter or 2. It's really not very much, but it's just at the right point, I feel. Right, well, and the last thing for the upgrades is I did get new drive cups. So I guess we can go ahead, tear apart the front diff, and get a new drive cup installed. Oh, and one other thing before I forget. I decided I would also replace my winch controller for my RC 4-wheel drive winch here. I was using this old servo that I hacked up to be my winch controller. But I've now got a little 10 amp speed controller that is my new winch controller. Should be a little bit better, not quite as temperamental as using an old servo. Alright, now let's get this front diff open. And there we've got the front diff out. Now time to get this thing apart. So I just got the diff back together and I ended up breaking one of the bolts on the diff as I put it in. Hope I don't have to go back into this diff for a while. So I don't want to take that back apart now. Well, I got the outdrive installed now and it seems to be working good. Let me just go ahead and get everything back together, give it a quick test and make sure everything's working. I'll see you guys in a second. So I got everything back together. Let's see how the suspension's working. Well, it's not quite where I want it, but it's not too bad. Overall, I think that's pretty good. Let's power things on and see how all the electronics are doing. I just got to test my winch. That seems to be working well. Nice. So things seem to be working fairly well. Like I said earlier, I don't have the lights working right now because I think I'm going to need a different receiver for that. But everything else seems to be pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys next time.